Hey everyone, it's Samantha, and today I'm going to show you behind the scenes of how my assistant and I custom color these beautifully blonde wefts and turn them into a dimensional gray weft. And when it comes to coloring extensions, attention to detail is very keen to have the best results. So with my current client, she's definitely very salt and pepper, but her roots are pretty light. So I did not want to do a root smudge on these wefts. What we decided to do was do a little mist of water, and this will help kind of keep the wefts down to help prevent any flyaways. But my assistant, as you can see right here, is just doing like a very micro weave. And so 3 out of the 5 wefts are going to get dimension, and 2 of them will be solid. So when it comes to the dimension, we're doing the microfine pickups, as you can see here, and this weft will be low lighted, and that will be our dark gray color to give contrast to these wefts. And as you can see, the dimension is going all the way across, very thin, very natural, so that way it can be blended. And when applying the low light, you want to make sure that everything is heavily saturated. You don't want to fold your foils funny or do anything weird. I definitely recommend that you place like a extra long strip of a foil, as you can see here. And if you need someone to help you hold the extension while you're weaving, go for that, or you can place some weight on the weft so that way it's easy to pick up. I feel it's hard to pick up low lights on extensions if you are not rooting them. Normally when you root and custom color extensions, the root stays damp and wet, which will cause some weight on the weft. That way you can then pick up your low lights for dimension. However, if you are not doing a root color, as you can see here, the wefts are just dry and it becomes a little flimsy, so you do need some weight or some help to hold down the wefts, because you want to make sure you have very clean pickups, and that way your saturation can be very strong. And when applying the low light, I am asking my assistant to feather the low light up as high as she can. So we want to create like a diffused effect from the roots of the weft all the way through the ends. I don't want to create a hard line of the low light. So by painting the weft up, as you'll be able to see in a second, creates a really soft feathering effect, and that way the weft itself will have a really beautiful transition of a low light. And if you are curious about our low light color, we are using Shades EQ, 6ABN, and 5N with 6 volume. I like the 6 volume. I feel it helps deposit the color. It's very creamy and milky to work with, and I get a lot of deposit with that as well. So as you can see, my assistant was placing the foil, but as you can see in that corner, I'm very particular about my coloring. I want her to feather up the low light just a bit more on the side so she doesn't have a hollow space. But I want to make sure the low light is feathered up as high as we can go without it bleeding onto the natural root of the extension. Ready to boost your profits behind the chair? Visit awealthyhairstylist.com today. And once our wefts are done processing, the lowlights will sit on the extensions anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. And we did 20. I really wanted everything to marinate and stick as well as it could. But with washing out the extensions, I highly recommend cold water, especially since we have a high contrast of this really dark, cool low light, and then the extensions are as icy bright blonde as it can possibly be. So after the 3 wefts that we low lighted are rinsed, you can see this is the raw color of the low light we did, which was Shades EQ, 6ABN, and 5N. I'm pretty sure I did equal parts on that, but you can see it's really pretty. The dimension looks very gray, like a natural gray haired client would have that dark pepper through their hair. And once the wefts are all shampooed, we are now applying the end toner, and this toner will be a softer gray hue. So we have 2 wefts that are our brighter gray dimension, and then we have 3 wefts that are our darker gray dimensional wefts. And the toner that we used was, I believe, 9T and 10T. And the color turned out really beautiful. I was really happy with it. It was very soft, very subtle. We let the wefts sit for at least 15 minutes with the toner. And as you can see, the wefts will slowly start to grab the color. And I know sometimes it can look a little freaky while it's processing, but with these kind of pigments in this tone, you really have to just let it process, because sometimes you look at it and the tone can look scary, but the second you wash it and then you go blow dry, you're like, oh wait, where did everything go that I originally saw colored? So we made sure to let it process, and I was super happy with the hue of the color. And now this is my 1 row that was installed on my client. And this is the mix of the 2 solid wefts with the 3 custom dimensional wefts. And then everything was then toned with the brighter gray hue. Look how pretty. It looks natural, it looks soft, and it blends so well into her actually natural gray hair, which we did not color, tone, or alter whatsoever. Obviously, very long hair was not her thing, and we did a beautiful chop to give her fullness to her current length. And look how beautiful the blend of the custom colored gray extensions are. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you back here soon.